Hello, it is July 30th at 10:58 in the evening. I am speaking to you from Longmont, Colorado. Small town about half an hour north of Denver. We're close to Boulder. I listened recently to my pardon me, I wanted to do this off script without a teleprompter or a transcript of what I'm going to say because I want it to come from the heart. 9 months ago, I wrote The Case Against Transgenderism, and I read it. And I just recently reposted that on Facebook. And I've been thinking about the things that have occurred in the last 9 months. That some of the things that I foresaw that probably anybody could have, really. It was no big feat. Um, the cracks. Light is starting. Light is starting. Light is starting to shine through the cracks of the bricks of their bullshit. Um, the lawsuits are beginning from the detransitioners who are speaking before Congress. People are starting to see pictures and video of these surgeries that are supposed to transform a man into a woman or vice versa. And they are nauseating. They are like Frankenstein leechcraft. They take skin from a forearm to fashion into a phallus or a neo. It looks like a cross between Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas and a sandworm from Dune, with all these stitches on it. And I understand that you have to make it erect by squeezing a pump. You have to pump it up. I'm sorry, you are not putting that in me. No, I could see a lot of women going, you know what? I don't feel like I'm really phobic or anything, but you are not putting that anywhere near me. Uh, and the other one, we create this wound after we castrate the person. First of all, if the person if the man has gone through puberty, he may have enough penis for them to flay it like a banana and invert it, make a hole, and then they put that in the hole. And this hole has to constantly be dilated or it will heal shut, like wounds normally do. And then these people want to find a guy who is willing to put his dick in this wound that never heals. History has shown us that men will put it in just about anything, even inanimate objects. So there's going to be a market for it, I guess. Maybe it'll have its own section of Pornhub. But I think people are waking up to the fact that parents, that teachers, that so many people have just been had. You have been sucker punched by gender ideology. Let's talk about gender, shall we? What a load of bullshit. There are two sexes, male and female. And if someone is intersexed, which is like less than 1% of 1% of the population, a hermaphrodite, they used to call it. I just, oh God. I never expected weird to be weird this way. In the 60s, things were weird, but we expected it to go in more of a spiritual arc, that maybe psychedelics would take us somewhere new. We're finally getting to that, but that's another story. This whole thing of souls do not have a gender. What complete bullshit. You and I both picked who we are. This was not random. You were not assigned who you are by God. You chose to be male or female. You chose the body you were going to inhabit. You chose your parents. and your family, and therefore the nation, the family, the religion that you're born into. Who would want to keep doing the same curriculum over and over if you didn't have to keep repeating some of this crap? So there are no mistakes. You are never born into the wrong body. What happens is people at puberty naturally start to freak out after having been trapped in a biological body for so long. The spirit starts to say, I know that this is not me. This is not who I am. I am something different. But they're misinterpreting that to thinking that you're the wrong sex. And God help us if, there's a young boy who's a little effeminate or likes to play with dolls, or maybe likes to have his hair long, or a little girl who's kind of a tomboy and likes to run and play soldier and fight. When did that become an invitation to sterilize and mangle children? This is the biggest case of some kind of mass psychosis that I've ever seen. I've never seen so many people afraid to speak up for fear of losing their way of livelihood, their jobs, their platform. The degree to which this was accepted as normal and moral is absolutely repulsive. I want to see the people behind this pay. Every surgeon who has mangled or mutilated a minor should have their goddamn hands amputated and put on display with a list of all their victims on the plaque. This is what this man did. This is what this woman did. I've never really had an issue that I was angry about or outraged over. I mean, when Roe versus Wade got overturned, that was pretty gross. And I think we should be focusing on that rather than this pronoun and transgender bullshit. I remember Dr. Renee Richards and Myra Breckenridge, and who was it before that? Somebody in the 40s even. Glenn and Glenda with Ed Wood. I don't know if that counts. But I mean, this is old as hell. It's only recently that all these autogynephiles have tried to validate their psychosis and their fetish by turning it into something courageous and admirable. If you're going to rebel, this is the wrong way to do it. You look really stupid in that dress and lipstick, man. You look like frickin' Fred Flintstone in drag. Okay? I'm not gonna validate you by letting you go into the fucking women's room. Stay away from the goddamn women's room unless you want to find yourself beat to death. And that's what it's coming to. You have pushed too far. And now people are pushing back. When you went after children, you signed your own fate. There is a very special place in hell for people who do this kind of stuff to children. And I'm not using metaphor at all. They will come for you. If I were you, I would start to run. But it won't do you any good because you will be found. Jeez. Christ, it's such a... God, what a weird time we're living in. I mean, all this may be laughable in 5 years when we're all trying to survive because the world is either on fire or we're drowning, or it's on fire and we're drowning at the same time, and then here come the bees. But no, there won't be any bees. The bees will all be extinct, so we'll all fucking starve. Because after the bees go, which they've been going, we've got, what, I think 4 years? Was it Einstein who said that? So be kind to the goddamn bees. Plant flowers that bees like. Encourage bees. Buy honey. I guess the camera shakes every time I hit the table. What you're listening to in the background is whale song, humpback whale song, mixed with Gregorian chant, a combination I stumbled upon one night tripping, and I listened to this combination for 8 hours. It was just amazing. It puts you in such a state because the Gregorian chant seems so ordered. I can almost see the music when they sing it, and this harmony that they're doing, and then the whale song is just so beautifully random. I love the combination. I wanted to have music, but I didn't want to get any copyright violation problems. I hope the world cools down, but I don't think it's going to. We have a Northwest Passage. Do you remember the quest to find the Northwest Passage? How many people died or froze to death trying to find that, and now it exists. Just go on right through. I forget how many years they said it will be until there is no more Arctic. It'll just be water. By 2050, sea levels will probably rise at least a meter, if not more, which will force millions of people who are living on the beach at sea level inland, creating a huge humanitarian crisis, especially in places like India, where this is already a problem to begin with. That'll be pretty much the end, the way I see it. There may be a lot of rich people who, if I was them right now, are creating bunkers in the mountains, in isolated places, fortified, armed, stocked, hoarded. Well, they would have hoardings, is what we would say in the old days. And in the old days, when the plague swept across the countryside, the nobles and the royals would lock themselves in their castles with their hoardings to ride it out while everybody in the countryside died. Only in this case, there's never going to be a time when those people can emerge from those bunkers. Because when they do, there won't be anything left. This is why I didn't have kids. That and my particular genealogy. But really, I feel sorriest for people who did have kids, who are going to have to worry about them living through the end of times. This has happened a lot of times before. The end is just the beginning. It'll all start over again, but right now the earth needs to cleanse itself. The human population has tripled in my lifetime. And in my lifetime, half of all wildlife has gone from the earth. I can't even tell you how many species have gone extinct. Man has become a plague. I would like to remember the best of us. The achievements, the art, the beautiful things that we did. And not the things that we did to destroy ourselves. I don't know if this kind of end is avoidable, because everything goes in a big cycle, in a big circle. That's why I'm not really afraid. I'm trying to keep the cat from knocking the camera over. Timmy is walking behind right now. Train of thought completely derailed. We actually have a phantom train out here. A ghost train has been reported. They've even seen the conductor, and apparently there's this writing that they see on the window of it. It's well worth looking into if you're a ghost hunter kind of person. Look up the Phantom Train, the Colorado, spooky. Anyway, speaking of spooky, anyway, that's all I've got to say. Thank you for listening.